it's me. Hopefully you can hear. I'm going to be doing a tour of my craft room area, but right here, this is in the hallway before you go in. Here you can see I have these two like pegboard type items that I got from Michael's on clearance for like $2. So I just have some cards and tags on those. And then right here I have an over the door hanger that has some of the different projects that people have made me and different little trinkets and stuff that they've sent me. And then right here is a bookcase. If you have any questions about where anything's from, just let me know. But this came from Walmart. And I just put some command hooks on the side to hang some of the signs and stuff. And then here on the bookcase, there are some projects. I have lots of, you can see I have lots of projects from people. And then down here I have a basket that has my stickers, and then two baskets that have punches. And then this here is just a hanger that's got some of the different projects. Alexandra made me these ballet shoes, and these hearts are from Marilyn G. There's a bunch of different projects.
Get out of there. I'm washing this. Get out of it.
And then on my door,
Get your stank off of it.
I have some items that are hanging. These are all like little things that were made for me. Sorry, my dog just got a bath, so he's running around. But then there on my door, you can see I have some little projects. And then here, these were all the rage for a while. Just a warning, I had this on my door. I think it's the Marion Smith. I think that's what it was called. They sold these at Tuesday Morning for a while. I think they were like $100, $99, something like that. And it's got some of my Hoard Vault stuff in there. I don't really hoard stuff, but it just has my Tilda papers. And then I have some of my Hello Kitties. If you guys have never seen my channel, you may not know, but I have a Hello Kitty obsession. So this isn't full. There's some charms and stuff that people have made me. And there's some appliques and some sprays, and it's not all the way full. There's some little drawers in there. But there's that. And then this mega shelf kind of looks like an Expedit, but it's not. These are actually two organizers from Target that I ordered online and had shipped. And then you can see I have a pretty expensive Hello Kitty collection. This is by no means all of it. And then I also have, there's some kawaii stuff that I got, and I have some Little Mermaid. I also love Little Mermaid. Lots of cutesy stuff. So anytime I get Hello Kitty, I display it. So I've got all that. And then these bins here I got from, these pink bins, again, were popular for a while. Those came from IKEA. And then these baskets here came from a store called Five and Below, which, as the name says, everything's Five and Below. But there's some different stuff in there. I have like adhesives and stationery. There's beads, sequins and glitters, tapes, my crochet stuff. There's some clay and resin stuff. And then there's a basket with like some molds and stuff in there. And then here, there's a couple projects up here that I put that I had just finished making, but just to get them up and out of the way so they could dry and all that. But I have a little candy station here that's got like, there's like arty cakes. I have some doilies. There's some crochet stuff, some bling. And these I got from Walmart on clearance, like after college time or something. I think they were like $8 or $10. And I have these clear storage bins from Michael's. And they just have like, there's acrylic stuff, there's flowers. And this here has beaded trims, and there's some tulle. And then I have my card bases. And down here is all my 6x6 paper pads. And then here I've got a bunch of different color laces. This has laces, And then down here, this is a container that I altered. This has like all of my doilies and stuff. And then down there I have some fabric and some other trims and stuff. And then this tall metal rack is from Target also. You can see I have a lot of stuff on there. Up at the top, there's just projects that I've made on a spinner that I got from Goodwill like a long time ago. And there's some canvases and some extra bins if I need them. And then the damask boxes have like extra stuff to alter. Like this is all my altering stuff. And all these wicker baskets, this is all full of stuff to alter. See, there's like a whole bunch of like cardboard stuff, and that's my travel scrapbook rolly cart, you know, that you can take to crops, and then that has more alter stuff. So I have a lot of stuff to alter. And then on the side here, these are all stockings that were done for me for my stocking swap. And then here, these metal carts are from Michaels. I always buy these like at Thanksgiving time, like the day after Thanksgiving or the day of Thanksgiving. That's when I usually get my storage stuff from there. And these bins are just from the Dollar Tree, and they have like all of my my recollections and like all of my packaged flowers, Prima, and all that, so I can see them. And all of these drawers are sorted like by theme. So I'll show you, like this is all swirl bling. There's stencils, like Maggie Holmes. I have like Valentine's. And so they're all organized by theme. So that has like pretty much all my stickers and stuff. And then here, this other metal rack has those projects at the top are some that I made, and then some Hello Kitty, extra Hello Kitty stuff. It's another stocking. This here is all packaging, so like little boxes and stuff. All of these are packaging. They have envelopes and tissue paper and Daiso bags. All that's in there. And same thing over here. These are just extra sprays and some extra scrapbook stuff. I have my little stereo with my CDs. And I have some little Hello Kitty tubs. I had a lot of questions about those. They're a Tupperware brand, and they are discontinuing them. So if you want to get any of the Hello Kitty Tupperware, you have to buy it now. And then these all have like little plastic baggies, like those baggies from like Tuesday morning for cards and stuff like that. And then I have my planner crop bag, and then those are like card bases, and those are extra projects that people made me that I don't have anywhere to display right now. And then the bottom is all of my mail stuff. So my bubble wrap and all of that, my boxes. And then here I have a lot more Hello Kitty stuff. This is just a little Goodwill find, and I have all of my little tiny Hello Kitty figurines. And there's a little pincushion that Christina made me. My lighting situation is not good in this craft room. They have like a frosted shade on my fan, so it dims the light, and you have to have specialty bulbs for this. So I'm working on that. But these here are actually those ribbon holders, if you've ever seen them at Michael's, that have the bars. But I took the bars off. I just stacked them. They're not like secured or anything, so they're just stacked. And I have my Hello Kitty stuff on there. I've got some embellishments. I got all my washi tape in there. I got a bunch of my big paints, my resin stuff, gesso, glitter. This is my little Hello Kitty fan. And then I have a little tray, a Daiso tray that has wax paper and trash bags and all that stuff. And then there's like some paper straws. And down here, this whole rolly cart right here is all Hello Kitty. So this is stickers and notebooks and notepads, and this entire thing is all Hello Kitty items. And then this has all my flowers by color. So there's some pinks, some purples. These I got from Michael's as well. I get a lot of questions. And then here, I also get a lot of questions about this. This is from Harbor Freight, and it's like for tools. If you don't know what Harbor Freight is, they sell online too. It's like they sell tools and stuff, but it's like a do-it-yourself. You have to assemble everything, but it's like super cheap. So this was $20. It took forever for me to put together because I realized I was putting it together wrong. But it's got my stickles and my alcohol inks and distress stains, crackle paints. There's some foam paints on here, but yeah. And you can always spray paint this because it only comes in black that I've seen. And then here I have some recollection storage. Just got my paper, some of my papers and some embellishments. And then I have like adhesives in here, and there's some paints and stuff. The only thing about these is these 4-cube ones, the fronts don't stay adhered very well. It's cheaply made and it's not cheap to buy. And this one here has other albums and some other 6x6. And then I have another cart, and this has like all of my trends in there by color. So there's like white and ivory. I have some fabrics in here for like making flowers. I've got some Decoden. These are all handmade embellishments that people have given me. And I have my little cuddle bug here, which really doesn't belong here. That must have got moved here. But I have these little bins that have some of my favorite fabric flowers that I like to use a lot. And I have a little easel so I can display like cards when I film videos. And then this has like little embellishments. Like when I get mixed embellishments from people, I just keep them in the little bin and pick through. And then this was a labor of love. This is like all of my stamps. This is all wood stamps. These are my Stampin' Up! Stamps and my my extra sleeves. These are like the Ariel Simon Says stamp, but I got these off Amazon. I think it was like $14 for 200. So cheap, and they are the same exact quality. So definitely check those if you like want to change your storage up or buy more stamps. I've got some of my extra stamp sleeves. These are like Lawn Fawn. And then I have some CD cases. I used to store my stamps like these, like this, in CD cases, but I quit doing that. It wasn't effective, and I couldn't really look through them in the stamp rack. So these are just a couple little ones that are left over that are cling stamps. There's a few sets of those, but the rest have all been switched over to Ariel. And then I have all of my embossing folders are all in Ariel as well. And then I have my dies or spellbinders, and then also like some Lawn Fawn dies in here, and some Ariel dies. And then I have a couple of Sizzix dies. I destash a lot of my Tim Holtz Sizzix, so I never use them. And then I have my cutting plates, and then I have my Sizzix, like the big dies. So those are there, and then my Tim Holtz long dies. And then here I have all my stamps kind of sorted by category. So this first one here is just like miscellaneous brands. A lot of the like Michael's ones. And there's some Hello Kitty stamps in here that I got off Amazon. They're really cute. So cute. And then I have a lot of Greeting Farm. These are all Greeting Farm. So these are all Greeting Farm stamps here. And then this bin here is like half of this is Greeting Farm. These are all my Gorgeous Girl stamps. And then there's a couple of La La Land crafts in there. And then this little bin, which is the same as the round bins, is from IKEA. And this has my Magnolia stamps. I am obsessed with Magnolia. So I have a whole lot of Magnolia stamps, and they fit awesome in there. So I have those. And then down here, there's more of those bins. There's sprays, there's flowers, handmade flowers, there's some butterflies and some rosettes. And then these are some projects that I've recently received that I need to put away that were made for me. And then these here are like the picture cases, but I store, I'll show you. Some I have pictures in, and the other ones I store ephemera in. So I store them in these little boxes. And I got this idea from Melanie because she had one of these little boxes at a crop, and I thought, I have so many of those photo boxes without photos in them. So that would be a cool way to store my ephemera, and you can just take the whole thing out whenever you're working on something or take it to a crop. So I have that. And then I have my desk. I have a pretty big desk. Over here I have my adhesives. I've got a couple of these Daiso containers from Marissa for my birthday. And so I have my adhesives, I have my Wink Stella, my these are glue pencils, there's some spatulas, my Tim Holtz dauber, and then I have my acrylic blocks and some little scrapers for cleaning off my Heidi swap mat, and then I have my little heat gun. And then these little adhesive or embellishment sorters I got from Michael's, I want to say, in the hardware section. So they have buttons and wood veneers and all that. And then these are newer ones I haven't filled up yet. I got those from Michael's. They come, one set has 8 drawers, so that's 4 sets, 2 pink and 2 of the mint. So they're just like these little flip through. If you've ever been to Joann's and you remember those containers they used to store their stamps in and their stickers, they lean forward at an angle. So those are pretty cool. And then I have my standard spinner that's got all my tools in it, and I have these recollection sorters. I got my ink pads, and I have a little tray there that has my most used ink pads, and this has my little mini ink pads. And these are just some projects that I've finished or am currently working on. And then, whoop,